Welcome to the program once more. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim, and our sign language interpreter at the bottom end of your screen is Joyce Wairimu. Thank you, Joyce. Now let's start here in Nairobi, where DCI detectives and police officers based at Kamukunji raided a shop within Muroto along Jogoo Road and recovered a total of 515 assorted mobile phones. The sleuths were acting on information on notorious stolen mobile phone dealers in the city. Now, majority of the phones recovered were smartphones. 3 suspects who could not give a proper account of all the phones in their possession were arrested in a swoop. Last October, police busted an electronic devices syndicate in Nairobi and recovered 262 mobile phones, computers and accessories. 7 suspects were arrested in swoop conducted by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in Kayole and Central Business District on Saturday. Now let's head over to Mandera County, where panic has engulfed among residents and farmers in Mandera County after a swarm of locusts reportedly invaded Rahmu area. The locusts were spotted in the area on Saturday evening and are said to have emerged from Lafi sub-county. This comes even as aerial spraying of desert locusts that continue to cause destruction after covering 3,150 square kilometers of land in Isiolo County started Sunday morning.
The spraying, initially scheduled to start on Saturday morning, failed to kick off as 940 liters of pesticides delivered 2 days before were for hand pumps and not for aerial use. 2 aircraft, one released by the government and another from Farmland Aviation, head by Friday evening, arrived at the Isiolo International Airport ready for the spraying. County Chief Officer for Agriculture Salad Jilo on Saturday evening confirmed that the reordered pesticides had been delivered and the exercise would start from 6:45 a.m. on Sunday. 2 aircraft provided by Northern Rangelands Trust, he said, had already conducted surveillance and mapping of the areas that will be sprayed. The locusts, which got into Isiolo through escort, had by Saturday covered 3,150 square kilometers of the Garbatula and Merti, respectively. The most affected areas include Duse, Gotu, Barambate, Toipodo, Kulamawe, Kipsing and Kina North. The county government has already formed a 10-member team to coordinate efforts to contain the locust invasion. It will monitor the situation, mobilize funds and educate locals on the precautionary measures to take during the spraying. The locusts have already spread to Kachiuru in neighboring Meru County, posing a great threat to Miraa and tea farmers, which are major sources of livelihoods. As the exercise to contain the desert locusts continues, farmers in Ramu area, Mandera County, are in panic after the locusts invaded their onion farms for the better part of Saturday evening and Sunday morning. One of the affected farmers has urged the national government to move with speed and assist in curbing the menace, saying county governments lack the technical know-how to conduct it and operate the sophisticated equipment. Mandera County Director of Agriculture has since admitted that as a county they do not have the capacity to fight the locusts, only appealing to the president to declare the invasion a national disaster. He said lack of enough personnel and equipment remains a big challenge in the fight to contain the locusts, which breed at a very high rate.
Kwa hivyo wananchi tunawaomba mutupashe habari na mkiona mdudu wote ambaye mnafikiria ni locusts, tafadhali mpige picha, weka kwa social media na itatufikia.
On Friday, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri assured Kenyans that proper measures are in place to curb locust menace. He confirmed that the government will spend more than 250 million shillings in flushing out locust infested in the northern part of Kenya and its surroundings, including Meru County. Winnie Lubembe for Ebru TV.
Now let's come back to the city, where the Director of Public Prosecution, that is Nuruddin Haji, has filed an application seeking to vary bail terms issued to Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko. The DPP said Sonko violated the order of the court by nominating a deputy governor despite being barred from accessing his City Hall office. The application, filed by Assistant Director of the Public Prosecution Joseph Irungu, will be argued before Magistrate Douglas Ogoti tomorrow. January the 13th, Sonko was charged with 17 others for misappropriating 357 million. The matter is set to come up for mention on January 15th. A war of words is in the offing as Deputy President William Ruto has lashed out at police officers for not obeying court orders in regards to the arrest and release of Gatundu South Member of Parliament, that is Moses Kuria. Have a look.
The foundation of our nation is the foundation built on the rule of law, and every public officer have their responsibility, individual and collective, to make sure that this country is built on the firm foundation of the rule of law. And I want to ask every public officer to ensure that they play their part in ensuring that there is respect for the rule of law in our nation. And even when we go to the realm of court orders, it is the responsibility of every public officer, individually and as a government. The Jubilee administration respects the rule of law and respects every court order issued by a competent court of law in Kenya. And we want to say categorically that any public officer who disobeys the law, who disobeys court orders, they will carry their cross individually. They will be held personally responsible for violating the law or violating any court order. The slide to anarchy and impunity will begin the day we don't respect the rule of law and we don't respect court orders in our country.
Now, still with the Deputy President, now to the other side of politics, where Deputy President William Ruto, NC Party leader Musalia Mudavadi and his Ford Kenya counterpart Moses Wetangula has taken an issue with ODM Party leader Raila Amolo Odinga on the consultative meeting over the Building Bridges Initiative report. The leaders, while addressing Kenyans at different places, accused Odinga, who is pushing for an expanded and powerful Prime Minister post, for dividing Kenyans further through their series of political meetings across the country. Our political affairs reporter Jeff Khaemba with more details on that story.
Before the Building Bridges Initiative BBI team embarks on its second phase of collecting views from the Kenyans, the ODM party has hit the ground running, drumming up support for their proposals, which are not limited to the formation of an executive prime minister position. Deputy President William Ruto, ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi and his Ford Kenya counterpart Moses Wetangula claims the Kisii meeting led by Raila Odinga is meant to drive the 2022 succession battle.
Iyo mulifanya Kisii ni mzuri. Mupange lineup yenu ya ODM ya 2022. Lakini muwachane na mambo mawili. Jambo la kwanza, wachana na pesa za umma.
Tutaki wanasiasa wa hijack process ya BBI.
Sasa badala ya kuzunguka na kupika vumbi, let's do things systematically and do them right.
The ODM members, led by the already member of Parliament Mark Nyamita and Timothy Wanyonyi of Westland, speaking to Ebro TV, on the other hand folded the BBI team, led by Garissa Senator Yusuf Haji, for fronting a prime minister with lesser powers.
We want a prime minister, but we want a prime minister with powers, with 2 deputies. A president and a deputy. For me, I don't see why they should give us a lame, a prime minister who doesn't have executive powers.
Deputy President William Ruto and a host of other political leaders were in Naroko County for the official opening of the African Gospel Church AGC, requested their supporters to boycott the meeting with claims it meant to swindle public money.
What I saw in Kisii had nothing to do with BBI. It was a launch of a presidential campaign for 2022. Kama hiyo ni ticket, me I offer to print for you posters na t-shirt ya Raila na Matiang'i na Waiguru free of charge. lakini msema ni BBI. Tarehe 15, 18 million, 15. Mwananchi hapa anaumia.
Hatukujua ya kwamba BBI ilikuwa ODM na ODM ni BBI, hatukujua. Sasa namwambia Raila Odinga, ukubali kama Wakenya wengi wameamua barabara ndio hii, ukubali ufuate hiyo barabara.
Na hakuna mtu wako na kisirani na mwingine. Hii ni nchi ya demokrasia. Wewe panga vile unataka kupanga, wengine watapanga vile watakataka kupanga, wananchi wa Kenya wataamua.
Western leaders led by Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, while attending a burial ceremony in Molo in Nakuru County, says they won't attend the Raila Odinga-led meeting.
Na kama mabadiliko yatakuja ambayo yanahitajika yapite kwa referendum, tutangoja wataalamu waunde ile swali ambalo sasa tunaweza kuwa na mjadala na tuamue.
Sisi tumesema kamati ya wataalamu wawe gazetted, wasunguke wakuje mpaka hapa.
Hakuna mwenye anapinga BBI. Tukitaka Kenya ikombolewe, Musalia Mudavadi atakomboa Kenya.
The ODM members want a referendum before June this year.
So we want to get over and done with this referendum by June.
I think the question of the referendum, if that thing is presented to the IEBC, it doesn't take a lot of time.
And if Ruto is sidelined, he's just an individual. If the community can remain with us, we are happy.
Reporting for Ebro TV, I'm Jeff Haemba.
And away from the BBI debacle, let's head over to the coastal region where police in Mombasa have arrested 4 people who included 3 men and a woman after they were found in possession of 7 grams of cocaine and 2 sachets of bang in Nyali. The 4 arrested suspects included 2 foreigners, a Swiss and a Nigerian.
Nyali Sub-County Police Commander Daniel Masaba, working together with a multi-agency team, they were able to identify the drugs with a street value of 50,000 shillings.
Walipoingia walianza kupekua na wakapata hiyo mfuko ambao ulikuwa umeshukiwa kuwa uko na mihadarati. Kuangalia ndani waliweza kupata mihadarati aina ya cocaine, ambayo tunashukia ni ya cocaine kwa sababu tumeipeleka kwa government chemist ili iweze kuchunguzwa zaidi kuonekana kwamba ni cocaine. Na vile vile wakapata sacheti 2 sapangi.
Daniel said his officers, acting on a tip-off from members of the public, raided a house in Nyali where they were able to recover the drugs and arrest the 4 suspects.
Na hapo walifanyia upekuzi nyumba hiyo yote na hata katika mifuko zao wakaweza kupata watu 2 ambao ni wa uraia tofauti, si wa Kenya. Kuna mtu mmoja kutoka Switzerland, mwingine anatoka Nigeria na 2 ni wa Kenya. Basi waliwachukua na kuwaleta katika kituo cha polisi cha Nyali.
The police boss added that preliminary investigation indicated that the 2 foreigners are frequent visitors to the country.
Basi hawa watu tumeweza kuwawekea mashtaka kwamba tutawashtaki na kuweza kulangua madawa ya kulevya katika nchi yetu na hata katika wilaya hii ya Nyali pamoja na kaunti ya Mombasa kwa jumla. Hatutalala, hakuna mihadarati itasikika tena Nyali. Nyali tumeweka mikakati ya kutosha usiku na mchana, tunashirikiana na members of the community kuhakikisha kwamba Nyali is free from drug.
Mr. Masaba said investigations are ongoing to ascertain the exact amount of narcotics in the suspect's possession. He further said the 4 will be charged at Shanzu Locals tomorrow Monday. They will face charges of drug trafficking. The police have cautioned those in drug business that they will be dealt with to make Nyali and entire Mombasa County a drug-free zone.
Now to a story that continues to elicit mixed reaction till today. The new NHIF regulation for new voluntary members continues to raise mixed reactions from across borders. A section of senators have now opposed the new rules introduced by the National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF. Senators Ledamo Olekin of Narok and Mutula Kilonzo Jr. of Makueni said the new regulations are discriminatory to subscribers and do not conform with the law.
According to the new NHIF rules and regulations, new subscribers are required to pay upfront 1-year subscription at registration and will be allowed to enlist only one wife and 5 children. NHIF's acting head of registration and compliance, RO Tom, in a circular to regional and branch managers imposed new regulations with punitive measures to deter defaulting in monthly contributions. The full year's subscription will be required to be settled within 90 days waiting period. If a member defaults in payment or pays late, the new rules require that he or she will have to pay half of the monthly subscription for each month defaulted or paid late. They require that if the default is for 11 months, besides the 50% of the monthly subscription for all the months defaulted, they will also have to pay another 1-year subscription in advance. They will not be allowed to access the services for 30 days after paying up. These stringent regulations elicited mixed reactions from leaders and Kenyans alike. Legislators Ledama Olekina of Narok and Mutula Kilonzo Jr. of Makueni said they will reject the new regulations in the Senate. Olekina said, and I quote, "We approved a piece of legislation allowing polygamous marriage. It is wrong for NHIF to say that now if you have 7 children or 2 wives, 1 wife and some children do not qualify the benefits of the scheme. This is discriminatory and we as legislators will reject it." End of quote. He proposed a total overhaul of the NHIF system, saying it is not benefiting the subscribers. Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. said the new regulations are contradictory to the law, noting, and I quote, "We cannot limit NHIF beneficiaries if the law has not limited the number of children or wives one should have." End of quote. He called on President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Cecily Kariuki, to get involved and streamline the scheme for the benefit of subscribers. The second-term legislator said the new regulations and rules will suppress universal healthcare. Mutula Jr. and Olekina said universal healthcare should be strengthened through the county governments since health is a devolved function. Mutula also demanded NHIF to account for the huge amount of money paid by subscribers. The two legislators spoke at Ikalioni Primary School in Makueni County during an award ceremony for the best pupils in primary schools within the county. Winnie Lubembe for Ebru TV.
Still with that story, former National Control Against Drugs and Substance Abuse, that is NACADA Chairman John Mutudho, is calling for clean sweep of the controversy-ridden National Hospital and Insurance Fund NHIF establishment for an efficient health insurance service. He says the board as is currently constituted in an impediment to the national objective of attaining universal health care. Mutudho's sentiments chime in with other voices of resistance against the policy amendments on the health insurance, with average citizens have resoundingly condemned as a unilateral and superficial.
Hana haja kutibiwa Kenya. NHIF ni ya civil servants, wakuu wa serikali na wale vigogo wa serikali, lakini maskini hana chake katika NHIF. Kwa nini nasema hivyo? Mwanzo wanasema yule mama mjamzito akishajua yeye ni mjamzito aende alipe NHIF miezi 12, 500 kila mwezi, hiyo itakuwa ni shilingi 6,000. Kisha angojee miezi 6 ili ile kadi yake ifanye kazi. Kwanza kumbuka, atajua ako mzito after 1 month, baada ya mwezi moja ama mwezi moja na nusu ndio ataambiwa ako mzito. Kwa hivyo wakati ile kadi itafanya kazi, atakuwa tayari ako miezi 7 na nusu, karibu miezi 8 ndio ile kadi ifanye kazi. Hawa watu ni unafiki wako naye, kwa sababu wanajua katika maumbile ya binadamu miezi ya kwanza 6 tangu siku ya kwanza ndio mtoto anaumbwa na Mwenyezi Mungu, na hiyo miezi 6 ni muhimu sana katika maisha. Ile ya mwisho 3 ni kukua. In brief, wanasema hakuna haja nyinyi watu ambao ni maskini mkidungwa mimba, kama uko pregnant, wewe kaa na Mungu wako. Ya pili, wanasema CT scan hawatagharamia. CT scan si football ile ya Manchester ama ya Arsenal. CT scan ni special tool ambayo inatoa ugonjwa uko wapi ili uweze kuhudumiwa vilivyo. Kama sasa hawataki daktari ajue ugonjwa uko wapi, basi ni kama kwenda kwa mitishamba. Basi daktari atakuwa na kutibu malaria na bado uko na kidonda kwa tumbo, atakuwa na kutibu kichwa kuuma na wewe uko na shimo katika roho, atakuwa na kutibu hili.
To Thika now, where morning prayers in an Asian temple in Thika town were cut short when Kiambu County government employees invaded the premises, destroying the well-trimmed flowers around the temple and arresting the watchman. Take a look. The county workers threatened to arrest the priest of the temple and the other worshippers who had come out to inquire why they were destroying the temple flowers, which had costed the Asian community over 200,000 to maintain the landscape annually.
Huyu ndiye priest wa hii msikiti. Wakati alitoka nje, akaitwa na askari akuje aelezee, askari awaulize kama walikuwa na ruhusa ya kuja kukatakata hizi maua. Wakati alitoka hapa nje, hao watu walikuwa na katakata hizi maua, walimwambia pandi nje ni ya council, sio ya pandi ya msikiti. Kwa hivyo yeye warudi kwa msikiti ama washikwe pamoja wote. Ndio huyu akarudi kwa msikiti, akawacha watu waliyekuwa wakikatakata hizi maua.
Thika residents who witnessed the early morning drama wondered why the county government had not cleared the overgrown grass in its resting parks, where they feared snakes might have taken the advantage of the overgrown grass.
Mimi kama MCA wa Thika town nataka kuja hapa ku apologize on behalf of our officers wenye wamekuja wamefanya hiyo damage. Mimi mwenyewe sikuwa nimefurahi kwa kenye kitendo kimefanyika hapa, juu kuna kazi mingi zinafaa kuwa zinafanywa na si ya kuja kukata maua. Nimeongea na officers wa county kwa hiyo damage imefanyika, but I want to assure community ya Wahindi ni kwamba sisi tunawapenda, na mimi on behalf, juu hata mimi nimeudhika sana kwa ile kitendo imefanywa na hao officers.
They pointed out one of the parks adjacent to the mosque, which they said was bushy, and wondered why the workers opted to go and destroy well-managed landscape in the mosque. Bimal Shah, who is the chairman of the mosque, accompanied by Shatel Shah, the secretary, condemned the incident, saying the motive behind the incident was still unknown, as the workers frog-marched the watchman to Thika police station, leaving no one to guard the mosque.
We really don't understand what these guys were up to. You can see the demolition they've done of uprooting all these flowers. I mean, I don't understand what benefit these people got out of doing all this work. Either they were people who were on a mission at night somewhere else and just did not understand what they are doing, but this is totally not acceptable. Because in the town, we have this big garden opposite our place. The grass is all overgrown. This is supposed to be a recreation place for the citizens of Thika. But you can see the way that this whole area by the council is being kept.
They want the incident investigated and action be taken against the perpetrators, adding that the Asian community had been at the forefront in helping the community and the county government restore its lost glory in beautification of the town. However, Thika Town MCA Andrew Kimani visited the scene and apologized on behalf of the county government, saying the action was uncalled for and regrettable. Kimani said the workers who were drawn from the Department of Environment had crossed their mandate, as they have no powers to arrest anybody, as that power is given to the reinforcement officers and the police. Abdiaziz, Hashim, Brew TV. Internationally, why did President Donald Trump order the drone strike that killed one of Iran's top generals? His administration say there was an imminent threat against Americans, but it has failed to convince many Democrats that the strike was necessary.
The prospect of another imminent war in the Middle East has subsided for now after Iran's retaliatory missile strike against a U.S. military base in Iraq caused no reported casualties. But the recent escalation of tensions following the U.S. drone strike in Iraq that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani has some critics suggesting President Trump was motivated to take military action in part to shift attention away from his impeachment.
He does look for distractions whenever there's bad news surrounding him. Impeachment is a lot of bad news.
President Trump has criticized the impeachment process. The Republican-controlled Senate trial is expected to reject
The ayes have it.
The House of Representatives 2 impeachment articles. They seek to force the president from office for abuse of power and obstruction stemming from his alleged efforts to leverage Ukraine aid for political dirt on a democratic opponent. The president's decision to take military action against Iran, some analysts say, was motivated largely by frustration over Iran's continued attacks against the U.S. and allies in the region. But frustration at home may have also been a motivating factor, say analysts.
He feels stymied and bottled up and criticized. I think a lot of that was important, and this was a way, there's no doubt, to regain and recontrol or control the narrative.
Past presidents have also been accused of using a military crisis abroad to rally support at home. In 1998, some of President Bill Clinton's critics charged that missile strikes against Afghanistan and Sudan in response to terrorist attacks at U.S. embassies were taken to shift focus from his impeachment. In 2012, Trump himself suggested his predecessor, former President Barack Obama, might try to provoke a crisis with Iran to win re-election. In today's highly polarized political climate, it is questionable that President Trump's recent military action will rally the nation's support.
But foreign policy is unpredictable, and if things were to escalate, that could change things dramatically, either for or against the president. So I think that's the wild card.
While the president wants to project military strength and has sent more troops to the region, he also opposes getting involved in another foreign war. And though the current crisis has subsided, the risk of further conflict with Iran remains high. Brian Patton, VOA News, Washington.
To Asia now, where World Health officials say an outbreak of pneumonia in the central Chinese city of Wuhan is being caused by a new strain of virus that led to the deadly SARS outbreak over a decade ago. VOA's Jeff Custer reports from Washington.
China's state-run Xinhua news agency reported a team of scientists identified the new type of coronavirus after tests were run on the 59 people who have been hospitalized since early December. The World Health Organization issued a statement confirming the preliminary discovery of the virus. Health officials in Hong Kong say as many as 38 people have been hospitalized in recent days after returning from Wuhan with flu or pneumonia-like symptoms. The virus can lead to sudden acute respiratory syndrome, commonly known as SARS, which struck China and Hong Kong in 2002 and 2003, killing nearly 800 people and affecting more than 8,000. In an interview with VOA, Dr. Anthony Fauci of the U.S. Institutes of Health says such viruses usually originate in animals and become significant when they spread to humans.
The interesting thing about the current virus that we're seeing in Wuhan in China does not appear to spread, certainly not readily and maybe not at all, from human to human, because there have been no cases of infection of healthcare workers who are taking care of the people with this disease, which is unlike SARS, in which the healthcare workers were vulnerable to getting infected when they were taking care of people with this disease.
The outbreak comes just days before the Lunar New Year, when millions of Chinese will be traveling by plane, train, or bus to celebrate the holiday. Unofficial China's transportation ministry says the agency will begin efforts to disinfect public transportation stations and cargo hubs to prevent the spread of the virus. Jeff Custer, VOA News, Washington.
Stick around for the world of sports and the happenings in the world of sport after this short break. Elsewhere, Bidco United were the biggest winners out of the 5-Betika Super League Round 20. The Thika-based side beat Mount Kenya United 5-2 at Camp Toyoyo to cement second place on the standings. League leaders Nairobi City Stars, meanwhile, kept their 7-point gap intact with a 1-0 win away to Shabana at the Gusii Stadium. Salim Abdallah scored the lone goal. 4 matches have been lined up today, among them a police derby featuring APS Bomet against Kenya Police in Kericho.
Jana wangu wanajisukuma juu tangu miezi 6 tujailipwa, tuna struggle, hata game ilikuwa tusicheze, lakini nawarudishia shukrani vijana wangu wanajisukuma, but game haijakuwa mbaya sana, ndio tunaanza, tunatrain tu siku mbili, kama tutrain siku mbili, kama tunaweza funga bao 2, that is good kwa timu kama Bidco. But tunaona tupanishi tuna makosa yetu. Otherwise my boys wanajaribu tunatrain siku mbili, juu mahangaiko tu. Hakuna do, hujalipa karibu miezi 6. lakini nawashukuru wanakuja na wanajisukuma na play wajipena ukova.
Wamecheza vizuri na especially in the second half wameonyesha tofauti ya sisi na Mount Kenya. Juu niliwaambia lazima watu waone tofauti, mko number 2, lazima watu waone difference yenu na hiyo team mnacheza nayo. So I think wame come up in the second half na wamecheza poa. So we are all yearning for promotion, tukikuwa promoted this season. Hiyo ni kitu tumekuwa tukifight all along. So hopefully tukicheza hivi, then I think we are content as for promotion.
Elsewhere, Great Rift Valley Justice Madoya shot a round of par 71 to set the early pace after one action at the Muthaiga Golf Club Safari to a leg. Madoya now sits 2 strokes ahead of Muthaiga duo of Greg Snow and Jeff Kumbwa of alongside Nigeria's Andrew Odo and Limuru's John Kirichu shot rounds of 2 over par 73. Madoya started this round with a par on the first, following this up with 3 bogeys on the second, 5th and 6th and 1 birdie on the 4th for a front 9 score of 2 over par 38. Round 2 action tees off at 10 a.m. with the field aiming to make them cut to play in the 3rd round and 4th. And finally, Manchester City has thrashed Aston Villa 6-1, courtesy of the Argentine Kun Aguero, who scored a hat-trick, and 2 from Riyad Mahrez, the Algerian, and finally the Brazilian Gabriel Jesus, and the only goal came from El Ghazi from the Villa. Now that brings us to the end of our bulletin this evening. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim, and to the producers and the directors that have made this program successful, we thank you and have a lovely night.